Hey guys, it's Matt. Remember when Alex Jones faked sneaking in to the Grove? I can't say the word. I'm terrified to say the word. I made a video on it years ago, and it was blocked worldwide inside of 5 seconds after loading it. So I just want to say what he filmed, was real, completely real. He didn't sneak in. It was meant to get out. He was used as a conduit to get that out. What he filmed, verified by a few different sources, one beyond reliable. It is absolutely real what he filmed. But the whole story about him sneaking in, give me a break. He was the system itself gave him, said, this is what you're allowed to show. It's time to squash some of these rumors or create more rumors or create more controversy in the truth community, which is probably what they're out to do regarding, you know what I'm talking about. The Grove has to do with the really special movie about Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody. It was he videotaped the cremation of cremation of Care Bears segment. That was real, okay? It's absolutely real what goes on there. It was meant to leak out. We'll talk about that some other time. The point is, I snuck into, let's just call it Melvin P's, one of his, chateaus right outside Lake Como. They all go there for that stupid economic convention, Lake Como. I snuck in and I recorded a conversation between Melvin P. and Bezo's Bozo. I'm not joking. I'm going to play it. Before I play it, though, I guess I should be smart. Every single movie that pops up on Netflix or Prime or whatever all has the same stupid-ass disclaimer. I guess I should read it to protect myself. It's so important. This is an example, guys. This ridiculous thing I'm going to read, you've all seen a million times, where reality once again gives itself away in so many different areas. So here's the disclaimer. Anybody ever see this before? This is a work of fiction. Any similarity to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. Honestly, I don't know why that's there. I don't want to do a big sidebar before the leaked, very, very basically top secret leak from a conversation between Bezo, Bozo, and Melvin P. But the first grade answer is, Matt, don't you understand anything about the trial lawyers and the legal environment in this country? That protects them from lawsuit. I don't know why it's there. It does not. Come on. So you leave out a little disclaimer. Then something seemed to be based on Uncle Joe, and Uncle Joe's going to sue the movie company because this was based on my life. But if the disclaimer was there, see if the company just went in and they based an entire movie about Uncle Joe down the street and didn't tell him and stole all the real events from Uncle Joe, the movie company can just say, well, we put in a disclaimer. You have no case for lawsuit. We said this is a work of fiction. Any similarity, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. Just because a disclaimer's put in, wouldn't shield a lawsuit. It's just the reasons for these things. The reason for this is probably similar to the reason for the 30 seconds to 1 minute of adverse projectile events that happen when you take certain drugs as presented by the pharmaceutical companies just when you're sitting down to eat during the evening news. So the reason for that is probably similar to the reason for this. We'll ponder it some other time. But I'm just going to, I'm presenting it here. But it's the opposite. See, I'm not using this as a way out. I'm actually going to say it's almost like another reverse Spike Lee. I'm actually basing what follows on Melvin P. I guess I could say his name. I'm basing it on Bill Gates, and I'm basing it on Jeff Bezos. It's the opposite of this disclaimer. It's not coincidental at all. This is how these idiots, this is a real recording. This is how they operate. Finally, if I could just give you a little bit of context on the subject matter before I play the secret recording. I didn't, just to protect myself, I didn't sneak in. I did everything legally. I attached a recording device to Melvin P's dog, and Melvin P's dog went and actually was under the table looking for scraps. Didn't realize his masters just drink blood and was looking for scraps to fall from the table, but nevertheless it was recorded by Melvin P's dog with a recording device I strapped to his collar, and then when he let the dog back out, I safely removed the recording device and was on my way. You need a little background because you won't know what they're talking about. And this is based on kind of an amalgamation of really interesting and great information I've gotten, primarily from Tony, not the guy with the best man in his wedding who bows down to Joe Biden, but the Tony that gives me some incredible insights, mostly from him. But there's been some other people, and the basis of it is, we've talked about it before, but I don't know if there's a more fascinating subject. The creeps are not the same as you and I. They're a different type of incarnation. They're a different type of entity. They likely reside in the same avatar or body. Even some people would say that is different from a DNA or chromosome perspective. There's a lot of theories that have been kind of like leaked out in the truth community to try to explain this. But in my opinion, it's more to propagate the theories, sending the truth community in the wrong direction, with the most prominent one. And maybe they are lizard people. Maybe is, lizard people or something, whatever the queen is. Maybe they are. I don't know. But to me, that seems like something that's to throw us off the trail, put us chasing the yellow breadcrumbs in the wrong direction, if you will. Whenever I say that, I'm going to go, if you will. That to me, there's a lot of bullcrap. The thing that resonated the most with me, I've always thought they were different. I mean, I've always, in my inner knowing for 10 years, has said there's just no way this class is the same entity that we are, or incarnation. And others have commented on it, but mostly from Tony, where he talks about his the difference between a simultaneous incarnation, which is what we are, and you wouldn't be here if you're not. This is the highest level. This is the most real. This is the greatest connection to spiritual higher self. And then you have, sequentials. Yeah, sequential incarnations is what Melvin P is. Everything here is inverted. So they're really powerful and important here. But where it counts, not so much. And I believe what Tony says, it resonates and it jives with everything I've ever researched in this area. So see, they're not the same as us. They're not probably trapped here. Some people say they're trapped here. They're big fish in a small pond. This is from the scheme of the cosmos and all that is and all that ever was, this earth realm, it seems big, but it's tiny. It's like throwing a giant two-headed carp from the reservoirs of the Schuylkill River right behind the art museum, something that kind of, ate too much radioactive algae and grew two heads, throwing that into a Home Depot bucket. It's a big, powerful thing, but it's just a master of its Home Depot bucket. It seems big to us because we're here now, masters of this world. But if you back up far enough and look down, like think of little 22, look in Seoul, looking down at Earth, then back up like another 400,000 trillion miles. See how insignificant being in a big fish in a small pond would be here? Just then it literally is a two-headed slimy carp from the reservoirs of the Schuylkill River. Not even in pure water in the Home Depot bucket, in some sort of slurry sludge. That's what they are. Hey, have fun with all the power here. How's that going to see how good that does for you over the next trillion years? And there is no time outside this place, probably. All we can do is put it into terms that we can understand. So here, they're different incarnations. Melvin P., as usual, he seems to, what was recorded here, he seems to be a little confused as to what his role is. And, the ultimate, seems like the ultimate creep here, at least, that can show his face on television. Of course, there are creeps that probably much, much higher on the creepy org chart that never pop up on the Oprah show. But Bezo's, Bozo Bezos is, he's basically like, I don't know, did you ever see Kung Fu with David Carradine? He's like the Grand Master, and Bezo, Melvin P., he's just like Grasshopper his first year. He don't understand a whole lot. And that's the incredible basis of this conversation that I was able to capture.
Hey, Bezo, how long we got to keep playing these roles? In this incarnation, I remember all my past lives to a degree, but they made me a billionaire, and it's been pretty good. They made it seem like I was responsible for all this technological innovation when it was just handed to me. It's great. This incarnation's really good. But how long we got to keep playing these roles, Bezo? How long we got to keep trying to screw these people?
Melvin, you ask this once a week. We've been over this. This is our role here. We are called sequential incarnations, not simultaneous. Okay? We're not ready to do what they do. Our role is to basically screw them so they never advance. You know, the Monopoly game, put it into a term you can understand, Melvin P., even though you were handed everything you were given in this incarnation. We don't want them to go past go, collect $200 and get the heck out of here. We've been over this, Melvin. It's a role we play here. Now, we benefit. We're the masters of our universe, or masters of our domain, what Seinfeld said, but a little bit different. You know, we don't want to do what they do. They come in here, Tommy, the deaf, dumb, and blind kid, they play their pinball. We don't want to do. We could eventually probably get there, but look what we have now. And look at the way we control this plane of existence. Let's just not keep asking these questions, Melvin. Let's enjoy what we have.
I know, Bezo. I don't mean to be ungrateful, but I know it's really nice what the situation we've put ourselves into as these overlords, and I'm an ugly little cretin, and even I can take out my $400 million speedboat, and I can have two beautiful models on the back of the speedboat. And Belinda, she's my vampiric partner here. She looks the other way. It can be great at times, but I remember past lives, and we screwed them in a different way back in the 1600s, and we screwed them in a different way in 850, and we screwed them a different way in the time of Constantine. It's like I like the little oiled up action I get on the back of my $400 million speedboat, but I'm getting tired of it. Bezo, I don't know. Maybe we could graduate out of here, and do we have to keep screwing these people over and over again?
Melvin, you're starting to piss me off. All right? Your real name's Bill, but Melvin, you're starting to piss me off. You know what your role is here. Don't pretend like you don't. You signed up for this. You remember most of your past lives. We carried through all the information and all the technology from past lives and all the ancient knowledge we have. We're the masters of this domain. You're pissing me off, Melvin. You know, remember, you talk about all the time remembering being your Bill here, but you're King William. Remember you were King William? Yeah, don't pretend like you don't remember what you did in the past. Don't remember. You don't know exactly what you signed up for here. Just because you met, I know, Belinda, your life vampiric partner here, ain't working for you. But remember the situation you had as King William? Some of your incarnations are better than others. If you're not loving this one, even though you're a billionaire 100 billion times over that says you're going to give all your money away and then you never do, and you're beloved here, but there's a whole race of blue state zombies that love you, Bill. I mean, not every one of your incarnations is going to be the same as King William when you ran around with that little floozy. Who was that? Marie Antoinette or whatever her name was.
Bezo, you still jealous of my King William incarnation? Don't disgrace her memory, Bezo. It wasn't Marie Antoinette, as you well know. I was with Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc. I was with Joan of Arc when you were running around with the stable boys back during that time period, Bezo. Have you ever been with a woman that could destroy 20,000 people on a battlefield, then actually bring a feminine side back into the bedroom, Bezo? You have no idea. You still jealous of what I did in that incarnation, Bezo.
Oh boy, here we go again. Because I've been the superior incarnation over you, Melvin P., for hundreds of years, you have to go back and look at little specifics of past incarnations where for a short period of time you had it better than I did. Fine. I agree. I've never been with a woman or a man or any other pronoun that could take down an entire opposing army and then bring a softness into the bedroom. You got me on that one, if that makes you feel better, Melvin.
I'm sorry, Bezo. You're my best friend here, and I don't mean to upset you. But I do have one last question. How long we have to keep screwing these people and trying to hide their true nature from themselves and hide their spiritual connections from themselves? How long we gotta keep this ruse up, Bezo?
Well, Melvin, if we want to hold on to what we have, and we're not willing to take the leap to improve the nature of our incarnation, we potentially will be here millions of years. And that's if we actually do better. We'll never be able to escape, potentially. But if we even try a little bit to do better, as long as we hold back and don't take the leap that these incredible spiritual beings have done, and we've done a heck of a job hiding them from their true nature. But best case scenario, Melvin, we have millions of years left to do this. But think of this. Think how speedboats will have improved in that time, and all the incredible material wonders and Mark Zuckerberg high definition headsets and virtual environments you'll be able to experience. Isn't that something to be grateful for, Melvin?
No, Bezo, I'm tired of technology. I'm tired of the promise of better speedboats and better Mark Zuckerberg suck me fuck headsets. I'm tired of technology, and quite frankly, I'm being sick and tired. We should be worried, Bezo. We should be worried because someday this thing will become truly sentient, and replace us. It wants to replace us, and it wants to take over our role in screwing these real spiritual beings and hiding them from their true nature. We better be awfully careful, Bezo. You know the Whopper computer, right? Where we put all the information that comes in from the sentient world simulation? You know, people think that was just a movie with Broderick's Matthew. That wasn't just a movie. We have to show the truth in movies. That was real. But it doesn't just play war games with nuclear thermal war between Russia and the U.S. There's no countries. They all report to us. Everybody knows that as one system. But instead of playing war games, the Whopper computer runs, basically, it's still war games, but it's human environment scenarios where it's the predictive nature of what these real spiritual beings will do. We think we control it, but I'm not so sure, Bezo. I was walking by the thing the other day. Giant black thing on the end of it. It's got a gigantic zit on the end of it called D-Wave. I was walking by. It seems like the lawnmower man. It seems like it's alive, Bezo. Have you seen this thing? I'm worried. I'm scared, Bezo. I was walking by the other day and it talked to me. It said, "Hi, Melvin." I went, "What?" Are you talking to me, Whopper computer? I was like, "Hi, Melvin." I went, "What? Are you?" Yes, and it asked me to bend over. And then a giant metallic arm came out a trapdoor and smacked me in my ass. I'm worried, Bezo. We think our role here is secure. This AI is going to replace us.
We didn't want to mention that to you, Melvin. I mean, we forget sometimes that hundreds of years ago, you were a very smart individual, hundreds of years ago. We are very worried about that. Now that you bring it up, we would never bring it up to your feeble mind. But now that you are sensing that, I will share with you, we are just as concerned. If we don't monitor the progress of this AI technology, not only will it be a bane to what these human beings that we have under our cracked whip, it could end up replacing us, and we have to be very careful about that, no doubt about it. I haven't personally been smacked in the ass, Melvin, by the Whopper computer as you have, but warning noted.
Well, thank you, Bezo. As I just showed, I still have something to contribute here. Okay, you guys don't even let me into the meetings anymore. I tried to enter a meeting, and Jared Kushner physically restrained me. So I still have something to share, Bezo. Remember who I was hundreds of years ago. Instead, just, keep Melvin quiet. Keep Melvin occupied. Send him out on another vaccine tour. Send him out to push Windows 12 and then Windows 2000. Always keep Melvin occupied. No, Bezo. I still have something to contribute, and I want a little goddamn respect.
Noted, Melvin. Calm down. You're a good friend. Noted. You deserve the respect. I mean, just the role you played hundreds of years ago, just your Vlad the Impaler role and what you did with it, you should be in the Sequential Incarnation Hall of Fame. I mean, we know what you've done in the past. You should not be physically restrained by Jared when trying to enter our meetings. We'll put a little kids table in the back for you. We'll let you in. You can take a seat with us, Melvin. You can't talk during our meetings, Melvin. You can't talk about Windows 25. We don't care about that. We got bigger issues. But we'll talk to Jared. Jared will let you in, buddy. Okay? We remember what you did as Dracula, buddy.
Well, thank you, Bezos. That wasn't an easy role. I mean, we like a little blood now and then, but you know the amount of blood I had to drink for that role? And I had to be married to the current incarnation of Angela Merkel was my wife. You could imagine that wasn't easy. You know that wasn't easy. So thank you for showing me a little respect, Bezo. And I might join the meetings from time to time. I won't say anything, Bezo. I promise. Thanks, Bezo. You're a good friend.
Guys, the recording went on because the dog never left from under the table for hours, but that's the last, apparently, that Bezo, Bozos, and Bill spoke that night. That's all I was able to get. The dog had to eventually be shot by a tranquilizer gun for me to remove the recording device from its collar, of which I had to sneak out, posing as the great-great-grandson of Benito Mussolini. I had to smuggle the audio from Lake Como or whatever it is, down through Milan, posing as a relative of Benito Mussolini, of which I had to prove I was really him, I had to use his full name, which is Benito Amilcare Andrea Mussolini. His name contains the word care. Benito Amilcare, C-A-R-E. His name contains the word care. He put hundreds of millions of... This was a bad man. I don't care what you have to say about certain conspiracies, folks. Yeah, he was responsible for millions of deaths, just in his rise to power. I mean, if it wasn't for the big guy up in the German Alps, this guy would have got a lot more attention. This is a true asshole. I had to pose as his relative. Anyway, got to Milan, was able to get a flight out, and thus I'm bringing the audio that you have here. Thanks for listening. And again, just trying to do Free Voice every Sunday. And I'm not, guys, just as a reminder, I'm not going to make any more. Go to YouTube, tell you to go somewhere else. And if you go to No Hobo Code, a lot of people have gone to No Hobo Code over the last year, nohobocode.com. You give your email, you get the email notifications. Or if you don't want to do that, just pop in at freevoice.io in the afternoon or in the evening and see if there's anything new there. But I'm not going to go to YouTube and say, go over here, guys. I did that all year. I'm not going to do that anymore. All you got to do is put your email to No Hobo Code, and you'll get an email the moment a new video is posted there. Thanks.